You cannot enter a new reality while clinging to the old one like it's the only world that exists. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, hey. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Spirit Speaks Experience. This is Rosemary Nonny Knight here. I am the Prosperity Minister and business coach to ambitious spiritual people determined to manifest at least 5 to 10K each and every month whilst living luxuriously in your purpose. I help you leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past so you can rise victorious in your true design life, which is a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life if you will claim it. I teach you to combine both practical action with spiritual principles to create real world results predictably. Now, step one to understanding all of this is to get a copy of my book, The Money Manifestation Mastery and Strategic Divine Guidance book. You can get that by messaging me the word book or go to the link in my bio. Okay. Now, we're going to start as always by reading the divine download for today. And the divine download is a message that I received from the divine for the paid community, the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering. And I'm sharing some of the previous ones with you. Okay, so let's begin. Deepening and widening your awareness of your thoughts, your beliefs, yourself results in more life being revealed to you. It has always been there, awaiting your recognition. And the more you release your death grip on the limited perspective you call your life, the quicker your desires can arrive in your current moment of now. The prosperity you desire, the money you desire, the health you desire, the everything you desire is already here. But you are focused there. By which I mean you are focused on other aspects of your existence. You are capable of focusing on the totality of all that you are and that I am, but you have chosen in this moment to be focused in a certain way. And this is why I seek to support you in opening up to more of what already exists in you. By letting go of old patterns of thinking, you open up to new patterns of thinking. Sometimes you just layer on new levels of thinking. Whichever way, you become available for all that you desire. Remember this, in the moment of desiring or asking, it is done. All you need to do is allow it into your current awareness, and this is where your difficulty lies, for you are focused on a portion of your reality and not necessarily the portion you most desire. But it seems so real to you, so true, and it also seems like the only reality. Open up. Dwell more within the imagined reality, pay more attention to the dream state, and in so doing, you allow yourself to expand in the physical reality too, because you hold it less tightly. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Read it again or listen to this again. Okay, but we're going to start by looking at the divine saying that the prosperity you desire, the money you desire, the health you desire, the everything you desire is already here. Okay, so it's not maybe one day, not if you struggle enough, not if you prove yourself enough, and not if the physical reality gives you permission. No, it's already here, but you are focused somewhere else. You're focused on the portion of your reality that feels familiar, like restriction, unfulfillment, the old income level, your old identity, your professional role, your old money patterns, okay, the family expectations, the old way of being respected, the old sense of what is realistic, the old life that you call normal, even though you don't actually want to keep living inside of it. And the divine is saying, you are focused on a portion of your reality and not necessarily the portion you most desire. So it's not that you're powerless, it's that you're focused on the wrong portion of your existence, okay? So it's like the physical reality, in order for it to shift, you kind of need to not give it so much of all of your focus, the current physical reality. You have to choose to look for what you're looking for. It's like if I'm looking for a spider, I'm going to find one. If I don't want to find a spider, I need to stop looking for one. But in terms of your reality, because the way manifestation works and the way faith works, the way these spiritual principles work, ultimately, it's that you need to start looking for what you want to see, even when it doesn't seem to be immediately inside of your physical reality. Okay? Because there is more money available, there's more freedom, there's fulfillment, there's all of that stuff, all the stuff you want, the luxury, the expression, all of it is available. More life in all its fullness is available. But you do have to undergo something of an inner adaptation, let's call it that, because when I read through that divine download this morning, and I was trying to consider what angle to come at it when I'm talking it over with you guys, I started thinking about astronauts, and well, I started thinking about space and how to leave the Earth and go into space. It does demand there's going to be a certain different way of thinking that astronauts need to think, or else it's going to be well petrifying to leave behind the familiar Earth in order to go into space where practically nothing could be familiar if the pictures are anything to go by. Okay, so I started thinking about that and thinking about like an astronaut leaving Earth. Yeah, you have to go through, or they probably have to go through some massive amounts of training in order to adapt to a new environment. They can't go into outer space whilst still needing all the familiar things that the Earth provides. Yeah. And so the same with you. You cannot go into the next level of your life while still demanding that it feel exactly the same as the life that you're living. No. You're used to, or astronauts would be used to trees and roads and the weather, the gravity, the familiar terrain of our planet. Yes. But now they are being invited to space where it's not going to be familiar. They might come across things that are completely that will not be as noticed or seen before. The same with you. You're being invited in almost to a new mindscape. Okay, a new reality, a new way of perceiving yourself, of making money, a new way of living in your purpose, of trusting the divine. And it can feel petrifying, terrifying, vast, empty, strange, delusional. Okay, because you're going beyond what you have ever done. So you too need to train in somewhat the same way as an astronaut would, okay? Because you're leaving behind the old terrain. So the four things, four, I did some Google searching, and there were these four particular training methodologies that astronauts had to go through, and I'm going to explain them in my own way. So number one was stop treating your old life as home. Stop treating your old life as home. So in space training, there's this whole psychological reframing that has to happen. You know, they must stop thinking of themselves as Earth citizens and start thinking of space inhabitants. Yeah, they have to adapt to the spacecraft as their primary home for a while. Otherwise, they stay emotionally hooked into longing for familiar things in their current existence, right? Okay, so as ambitious spiritual people, you need a version of this too. Because you say you want to be wealthier, you want to be freer, you want to be more fulfilled. You want to live luxuriously in your purpose, and you're not currently doing it. Okay, you want 5 to 10K months from your gifts, your skills, your spiritual wisdom, your life experience, your expertise, all of that. But you're not doing it right now. So emotionally, you are still treating your old life, your current existence, as home. It is the familiar thing. So your new expanded vision is almost like a temporary holiday from normal. So you maybe do some visualization and you see it for a little bit. You write about it a little bit in your journal. You imagine it for a moment, okay? And maybe you speak about it like you're feeling inspired. But then you come back home to your real life with the old job and the waking up on Monday and feeling bleh and the old income level and the old expectations, but they're familiar. The professional, all of that, it's all familiar, okay? And it's like when I stopped being a pharmacist, it took me a while to stop identifying as a pharmacist because a pharmacist felt more real, felt more solid. The whole concept of becoming a coach, it felt, ooh, or business owner, ooh, basically, it just didn't feel real. And so for a while there was this continual, I suppose, thought in my brain as well as, oh, maybe this isn't going to work. And maybe I just need to go back to being a pharmacist and be happy with that and blah, blah, blah. And for, pre-children, that was my dabbling phase. Was this, I couldn't quite leave the identity of being a pharmacist behind. So I would start things, but then I'd stop them and return to being a pharmacist quietly, gently, stop doing things that would take me away from that. And so it would be like, I'd snap back to my familiar place. But I had to, post children and post bankruptcy and post depression, I had to stop seeing myself as a pharmacist and start seeing myself as the prosperity minister. It took me a while to come up with that, actually, and to start to identify as that. So you're not, you can't see yourself as this corporate person trying to start something, or a nurse trying to coach, or you're a teacher trying to create your own, tutoring business or whatever. You can't hold on to that old identity. At some point, you're going to have to decide. No, this new expanded idea, this new expanded reality that I'm seeing within me, that I'm writing about, that I'm thinking about, that I'm imagining, that I'm visualizing, is now my true home. It is my true home. It's not just something that I'm dabbling at. I'm not just playing around with it. No, it is my true home now. Okay. It's like sometimes with clients who are wanting desperately to get away from their current income path. And because I would never say to anybody to immediately drop your income path because, oh, you're going to be making money in 3 seconds flat. No. What I would say, however, is start to see it as it's funding my vision rather than I'm stuck here and maybe I'm taking this little side thing over here, but I don't know whether that's going to work. So at least I have the security of this thing. No, this is funding my vision. So no longer is it the thing that I'm going to be settled for forever. And and it is a transition where you start to see it as this is funding my vision. It isn't the vision. It isn't the end goal. It is, and then so because that even changing that attitude will change the way you approach the work that you're doing. You'll stop little by little. You'll start to stop feeling quite so. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here because you realize you are getting out of here. This is the temporary now. The job has become temporary, whereas the vision you're building is your permanent home. So you're returning home. Okay? Whereas before, home was the job you don't want anymore. And so whatever you tried to do out there felt as if any moment now you're going to snap back because that just feels delusional. This feels real. No. That needs to feel real. This needs to feel delusional. Well, not delusional. I don't want to, it's not delusional, but it needs to feel temporary. Okay? So, where are you treating your old life as more real than your new vision? And I know it will take some doing to get to the point where your vision feels more real even than your current existence, but we have to practice this. And we have to practice this. If astronauts can do it, you can do it too. Okay? You have to practice this. Sometimes people think, oh, yeah, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Because you haven't practiced. You haven't practiced staying in the vision of what you're creating until it becomes real to you. Seeing it, speaking it, feeling it continually until it feels real to you. You continually telling yourself, but it's not real though. It's not real though. This is real. This life that I'm living right now, this is real. As long as you keep saying that, as long as you keep thinking to yourself it's too hard and it's impossible, then that will be your story. This will continue to be your home. But you can choose again repeatedly until your vision feels real to you. And you will know it. It's almost like you embody this vision and it's like, oh my God, I'm there. But it will take, sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it takes a short time, but it will take some time. Give yourself the time, okay? And it is you retraining, you retraining, you retraining until you are, as the divine says, the more you release your death grip on the limited perspective you call your life, the quicker your desires can arrive in your current moment of now. So practice feeling as though the goal is more real, is more real, realer than your current circumstances. Practice. Next, number 2, trust what you hear before the physical reality catches up. Trust what you hear within you before the physical reality catches up. Which a more professional way of saying it is practice autonomous operations. Yes, I googled this. Autonomous operations during the lag phase. Okay, practice autonomous operations during the lag phase. Okay, so astronauts may need to train for intense scenarios where there's severe communication lag. So they need help right now, but they send a message to Earth, but they're not going to get a message immediately back because it's going to take time for that message to get to Earth, and it's going to take time for Earth to send a message back to them as to what they need to do next. Okay, so they need to learn to trust themselves. Okay, they need to learn to trust themselves because what was that? Thinking if they're in Mars or something, it's only a 20-minute delay, which is not actually that long. But if you need help right now, 20 minutes, well, 40 minutes, if you're 20 minutes back or 20 minutes, whatever, before you get an answer, especially in this day and age of we use our phones and everybody thinks that they should be able to reach everybody the moment you want to, basically. And so you can't, if you as an astronaut, when you've left you in space there somewhere, you can't always depend on instant real-time support from Earth. You can't. So you do have to learn to trust the sensors around, as in your spacecraft or whatever. You have to learn to trust yourself, the training that you've received, your logic. your immediate surroundings, you and the ability to make decisions without constantly looking backwards for permission, without looking for validation that, oh, this choice that I'm about to make is the right one. And that's exactly what you, as an ambitious spiritual person, needs. When you're trying to step into a new income level, you want to start building your own purpose-led income path, there may be a lag phase where the physical reality doesn't immediately catch up. It doesn't, okay? So you've received this message, or you've received this intuitive nudge from the divine saying, do this thing. And you're like, and because we've all been trained in some ways to look to other people for advice, for guidance, and unfortunately for most of y'all, you go looking because sometimes the intuitive guidance is to ask for support. That's fine, but then you go asking people who have not done anything anywhere near what you want to do, and then you wonder why things don't quite work out the way you want them to. Is it because you're listening to the wrong people? But anyway, whichever way, you have this desire, you have this goal, you've decided what you want to create, okay? But as I said, the physical reality hasn't caught up yet. The money isn't here yet. The clients aren't here yet. You know, the audience is maybe silent and not even listening to you at all. So then you run back to whatever, if you're an astronaut, mission control or something, and you're asking for advice. In this case, you're probably asking, as I said, cautious family members maybe for advice, or friends, or church leaders for permission, or you're asking your old colleagues whether it makes sense. Am I overthinking things? Am I correct? Blah, blah, blah. You're checking in, checking in, checking in. So ultimately, you're asking people from your old life to validate your new life. Okay, but they don't know, or if even they think they know, but the chances are they don't they're not called to the same vision as you. So whatever they're going to tell you to do is probably not going to help you get where you want to go. So again, you have to trust what you've heard, okay? You have to trust what you've heard. Because people who only know you in a certain box will try and give you advice to keep you within that certain box. But you're trying to get out of the box. So this is where you have to be, your own autonomy becomes important. So this is where the whole autonomous operations during the lag phase comes from. Because the divine, you have to trust that the divine is speaking through you, okay? And learn to trust what you hear from within you much more than whatever you've been taught or from the past, or even whatever anybody's trying to tell you right now. And it's not about being reckless or arrogant or being foolish, okay? It is about trusting, however, that the divine can guide you, and that you can hear what the divine is saying to you. And because the divine says in that divine download, in the moment of desiring or asking, it is done. So at some point, you kind of have to stop waiting for external confirmation before you make every single move. Yeah? So during that lag phase, whilst you're waiting for what you're wanting to see manifest, appear in the physical, whilst you're waiting for it to appear in the physical reality, there is a lag phase, and you have to learn to sit comfortably in that tension as you wait for a response from the divine, but also that when you receive that response from the divine, instead of them trying to get waiting for a response from the earth, thinking about it in terms of astronauts, then you have to be able to trust yourself. You have to trust that what you're hearing is okay, and I can move forward with it. And I suppose in order to be able to trust that, there's also the trust that even if it seems to go wrong because of this thing that I trusted and acted upon, I am enough. I am capable of handling whatever happens. Because if you do not believe that, then no, of course you will not trust yourself. If you don't believe that you'll be able to cope, if you think that there's going to be some major mistake that, oh my God, the world is going to end, then you won't. It's just like an astronaut sitting there thinking, oh my God, if I press this button, the whole thing could explode. Oh, I don't think I can trust. So it doesn't do anything, and then the whole thing explodes anyway because because they didn't trust what she knew what to do. Basically, the same with you. Are you trusting yourself, or do you keep waiting for further permission, further validation, further blah, 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 blah? Do you trust what the divine is saying within you? Do you practice autonomous operations? Okay. Now, number 3, use your imagination as sensory adaptation for the new reality. Use your imagination as sensory adaptation for the new reality. So astronauts use simulations to adapt to environments that may be completely unfamiliar. Yeah. So starfield space, or deep darkness, or where there's no Earth visible at all. They have to use simulations to be in that zone before they actually get to the real thing, to adapt. So the unfamiliar doesn't feel quite as terrifying, or not terrifying forever anyway. Okay? Now, your imagination can be that simulation for you. Your imagination is a superpower. I cannot say this enough times. Your imagination is a superpower. Because the space between your old life and your new vision, it can feel vast. Okay? It can feel completely delusional, unsafe, unfamiliar. You're used to the old walls, the old routine, whatever your old, you're used to the old ways, the old money the levels, and the old professional identity, the old visibility, all of that. You're used to a certain way of doing things. So when you imagine more money, more freedom, more whatever, you might freeze. So you imagine that new life and you get, ooh, because it's unfamiliar. And not because the vision is wrong, although as you spend more time imagining that vision, yeah, notice the resistance that comes up. So you're talking about you want more clients, but the moment you imagine having clients, all you feel is fear. Notice your imagination is a superpower. You can practice being someone who's comfortable with clients right now, right now, instead of waiting whilst you're probably subtly sabotaging your own ability to create clients because there's a part of you that's resisting it. Your imagination allows you to, ahead of time, notice any resistance because it provides a simulation. Okay, what will it feel like to have all these many clients? Does it feel good? If it doesn't feel good whilst you're imagining it, you're not going to allow yourself to create it because you're going to resist it because there's a part of you that is, there's a part of you that you need to understand what is holding you back. Even in the in the imagined state, okay? What is holding you back? Sometimes, again, speaking to clients, they say they want one thing and then we keep talking and then they say something completely opposite and haven't connected the two together. And that's where my work comes in, is it's helping them to see, hey, can you see that you said you wanted this but you're also saying this, and those two things are mutually exclusive. There's no way both of them can exist at the same time. So what's going on? Let's look and see what's under the surface and decide what you want more. Which of them do you want to win? And you need to use your imagination as a simulation. Yeah, come and work with me. I can help you do this stuff. But you can also, start doing it now. Okay, the divine says, open up, dwell more within the imagined reality, pay more attention to the dream state, because your dreams are quite important. So pay attention to what your dreams are telling you as well. And in so doing, you allow yourself to expand in the physical reality too, because you hold it less tightly. Because as you start to get comfortable in the imagined reality, in the dream state, with this particular vision that you're choosing to create, then you're not holding so tightly to your current physical reality because you've seen and felt and dwelled in a simulated version, yes, of the reality you actually want. It becomes more and more comfortable, which, can you see, all these steps so far are to make you more comfortable with the new reality rather than holding on desperately to the old, because your ego, which is not a bad thing, so is trying to hold on to your subconscious mind, and everything is trying to keep everything the same because it feels safe. But you, by practicing using your imagination, you start to help your subconscious mind, your ego, to see that actually that's what we want, that's what we're working towards, and that is safe. Okay, okay. So it's not, but it might feel like you're just pretending and escaping and blah blah blah. No, honey, your imagination is a superpower. I would go as far as saying that the imagination, when you use it deliberately, it is like the divine reality. Whatever you create within your imagination will manifest if you hold to that vision. If you hold and you keep practicing that imagination, one, you'll start to feel like that is who you are, that is your new identity, and that will, because the content of your life will change to represent that new identity. Okay, so practice, practice, practice. Write it, speak it, feel it, see it. Practice. Let that new reality become more familiar. Use your imagination as a simulator. Okay? Okay, next. The fourth one, final one that I'm going to talk about today is meet change with childlike curiosity instead of dire seriousness. Again, meet change with childlike curiosity instead of dire seriousness. Again, astronauts must also learn to accept the loss of familiar sensory inputs. We've already said there's no normal weather. There's no trees. There's no ordinary daylight. There's no everyday Earth cues. And instead of treating every unfamiliar thing as danger, 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 they have to learn to approach it, all this new data, with curiosity. Curiosity. What is this? What can I learn? What does this reveal? How does this work? And for you as an ambitious spiritual person, that's a powerful shift as well. Because to enter your next paradigm, you have to let go of the old sensory anchors, the things that you just took as normal. Okay, this my bank balance looks like this, so that must mean this. You have to let go of that stuff. Being approved by everyone in your tribe, being liked by your old circle, knowing exactly how things will work. Relying on predictable struggle. Some of y'all are used to struggle and drama. You're going to have to let go of some of those old ways of seeing things, or using exhaustion as proof that you're doing enough, or using your old profession as that's my identity. No, or the familiar limitations, restrictions that you've learned to live with, and you see those as safety. You have to loosen your grip on those old sensory anchors, okay? Then you might start to feel panicked. Oh, I don't know who I am or where I am. Oh, it's like for people, I know for me, stepping away in some ways from a particular my religion, being Christian and all that, it did leave me with a feeling of who am I though? Because I'm Christian my whole life, man. Who am I? Where do I fit? I don't know. Well, becoming, just in my own business as well was the thing, because I'd been trained my whole life to become a professional. I did become a pharmacist, and then I decided to step away from it. Who am I? Where am I going? What's happening? Oh my God, am I safe? Is it safe? Am I going to be able to make money doing this sort of thing? Am I sure? Basically, there was a whole lot of questioning and what do I stand on now? What is my new foundation? Is the divine really leading me? Am I just taking myself off on some crazy journey of my own or whatever? And it's at this point you kind of have to, because it's like Jesus says, um, the childlike inherit the kingdom. You do have to come back to childlike curiosity. The childlike inherit the kingdom. So not that you have to be childish or anything, but you do have to be curious and open and playful around all of this stuff, okay? Curious, open, playful, willing to explore, willing to be surprised, willing to not know everything before you move, willing to see new ways, to take new actions, to wonder instead of panic. Stop expecting your new expanded life to operate by the same rules as the old one. Okay? Stop trying to enter a new life and demand that everything stays exactly the same. Of course, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to get comfortable with being in that state of stretch. Let that become your comfort zone. Okay? Let that become your comfort zone. For some of y'all, when things are too easy, you get suspicious and you start to see that as, oh, again, get comfortable with ease. Get comfortable with new things. Get comfortable with change. Get comfortable with change. Ask questions like, I wonder what incredible adventure I'm about to be on with the divine here. Because I remember when I got this was before I even started university. I got this job, a year in industry job, which was going to take me away from Birmingham. And everybody at church and everyone was, and I felt as if it was not the right choice for me to make. Okay, so I gave up this sure thing 12-month job that I had, that I'd killed myself to get, and then decided I didn't want it anymore, which was a very big deal at that point. And I decided to follow the whisper inside of me that said, no, that's not the thing to do. Stick around, let's see, and whatever. And then I got this other job, which was actually quite good. It was in the forensic science service or something. And I thought, oh, good, excellent, I could do this. But then because I hadn't been in the country for 3 years at that point, I couldn't pass the security check. So after working there for like a few weeks, I suddenly got called into an office and said, sorry, you didn't pass the security. You can't carry on working with us. And I'm like, what now? And what now? And so then I'm escorted out of the building, because it was a government thing as well. So I'm escorted out of the building. And as I'm walking away, first of all, yeah, there was a bit of, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have this year to fill with, and where am I going to get money, and blah, blah, blah. And then I suddenly, there was just this excitement came up inside of me. And I was just like, God, well, okay, what's the new adventure I'm on with you today? Where are we going? Where are we going? What's going to happen? And it was in that year that, yes, I got another job, but I also met my husband and blah, blah, blah. So things happened. And so it all came together quite nicely. But I had to not just give in to the fear and the panic and, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh! I had to approach it with childlike curiosity. Childlike curiosity. Same with you. When you're stepping into a bigger experience of life, you're going to need to approach it with childlike curiosity. Be able to sit comfortably with change. Okay? Just because things are new, things are not familiar, doesn't mean that they're dangerous. It just means they're not familiar yet. Yet. Give it time. It'll become more familiar to you. So, childlike curiosity. Okay? So, anyway, those are 4 astronaut level shifts to leave your old money reality behind. So, stop treating your old life as home. Practice autonomous operations during the like phase. Use your imagination as sensory adaptation for the new reality. Meet change with childlike curiosity instead of dire seriousness. And the divine goes on to say, remember this, in the moment of desiring, asking, it is done. We've said this a few times, but it is done. It is done. It's all already yours. It's all already yours. The moment you desire something or you ask about it, it's all already yours. You need to remain available to it, because there will be a lag phase between it being yours in the divine reality and it actually showing up in the physical reality, and you have to be available in that available to it, or else you'll just return to, oh well, let's just stick with what's comfortable, and well, then you just stay in the current reality. Okay, you must dwell more within the imagined reality. Allow it time, give it time to show up in your physical reality. Okay, so again, to understand this more and to understand more of this kind of things, get a copy of my book, The Money Manifestation Mastery and Strategic Divine Guidance book. It will help you understand the essential elements that you need to manifest the money resources you want to live luxuriously in your purpose, using your own gifts, your own spiritual wisdom, your own expertise, your own life experience, and all that. You can message me the word book or go see the link in my bio, okay? Okay, and let's end by saying the love prayer together. Again, I cannot share my screen with you guys, but we will say it anyway. Just imagine yourself embracing all the different parts of yourself, even the parts of you that you see as dark or negative. You can't push down and suppress. That will not allow you to move forward. So, as we say this love prayer, extend love to all parts of you. All the thoughts and the feelings and all of that. Extend love to all of it. Okay, here we go. Your love dissolves all doubt. Your love dissolves all fear. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me clear. Your love dissolves all guilt. Your love dissolves all shame. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me in the game. Your love dissolves regret. Your love dissolves despair. Your love restores my hope, my peace, my joy. Your love restores my youth and my years. Your love dissolves resentment and envy. Your love dissolves hate and rage. Your love dissolves any bitter roots within me. Your love rebuilds my self-trust and my faith. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love flows freely through me right now, harmonizing and adjusting. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love makes me magnetic to the desires of my heart. Picture at least one of your desires right now. Remember, your imagination is a superpower. Imagine already being there. It is all already yours. It's done. I feel your love propelling me forward into greater and greater financial prosperity right now. Money, wealth, riches flood into my life from everywhere in greater and greater abundance, with ease and with speed. Until the next time, my loves, go forth and prosper. It's been a pleasure as always sharing this stuff with you. Much love. Bye.